Hello.
Hello.
There we go. And we are live just in time for another race of the Super Metroid multi-category randomizer tournament. We got a
Oh,
week 4 match here of Sephy versus, I don't know how to say this name, Dasr? Dazer?
yeah, dasr seems about right, but I'm sure we'll be corrected if we're wrong. Upper Norfair start seems pretty interesting. Finding Varia that easily, but that just means the hunt for gravity is going to be fun.
Yeah. As you may have noticed, the week 4 settings do include full countdown random start, and the random start has picked Bubble Mountain, which is actually pretty nice considering there's a lot of funny places you can start. You can actually start all the way in Lower Norfair. I believe there are Meridia starts in the Varia randomizer, but I don't think they're enabled for this tournament because they're pretty miserable. But yeah, both runners going to be starting off with this Varia. Hopefully Dasser remembers to check the Bubble Mountain missile. You can check it without bombs. It's just shot blocks. Even in the vanilla game, I believe.
Yeah, that's correct. But Sephy finding Morph Ball right before Speed Booster, and we might see another item at Speed Booster. Well, missiles. You need those.
Yep, definitely important. So, also to mention, because full countdown's pretty new, I believe this is the first major tournament to have it. You'll see that number in the top left, the up north 4 for Dasser and 2 for Sephi. That is the count of major items that are in this area. Now, this doesn't have area randomizer, or areas randomized, excuse me. Dasser really needs to get to his missile. Hopefully he figures that out soon enough. But yeah, that's the number of major items in the area, which is really good information. You're able to dip into an area and see if there are any items that are worth checking, because once you get to the late game especially, you usually don't need a lot of minor items. So you can check an area, see if there's anything good, and then just bail. So it removes a
Yeah,
lot of the needless item searching in full rando that a lot of people aren't a fan of.
and Dasser's still committing to try to go up Bubble Mountain, not realizing that the missile is what we need. And there's Charge Beam at Ice for Sephi.
Yep, definitely a nice item to have. That makes the minor item hunt even less impactful. They do, of course, need at least 3 E-tanks to actually beat the game. So they can't just skip out on every item just yet. They are going to have to search for those. I imagine we see Sephi just full clear this Bubble Mountain area. He'll probably go over to the Norfair Reserve, just get all the items there, regardless of
Okay.
what they are.
Yeah. And now Dasser's finally going down to get that Varia suit. And I don't see a timer for either of our runners that's active.
Yeah, I believe Sephi's timer is there. It's just not quite set up. And then Dasser just didn't start his, which is a little unfortunate, but that's okay.
Oh, now that I do see Sephi's timer, it's at the bottom right and about 4 minutes in.
There's our first E-tank, so that's always nice to have. But while we're in these early stages, just collecting all the Bubble Mountain items, I do want to point out this is, as I mentioned, a week 4 match. I believe both of these runners are 1 and 2 in the Swiss bracket. And of course, with the number of players, the key number of losses you want to have is 2 or less. There's a gravity suit. That's pretty interesting. But generally, you want to have 2 or
Oh,
less losses
wow.
heading into playoffs in order to make it into the knockout stage. And so this match is very pivotal for both runners. If either one takes a loss here, they I don't know if they're officially eliminated, but I believe they are from actually making it to playoffs. Making it a very important race.
Yes. And I know there's been a possible talk of an additional round being added if necessary. I'm not sure how that works out.
I'm not entirely sure either. I will not lie. It just depends on the number of players. If the seventh round is needed to determine the top 16, I think there will be some tiebreakers as well. Don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% sure on how the tournament is run. I'm just playing Super Metroid Smile.
Same.
You're gonna
And
see Sephy go down to Croc. Might as well. Nice thing about starting in Upper Norfair is that there are a lot of items in this area. It's very dense.
And you see with the full countdown, as you said, Croc doesn't have anything here, so I imagine Sephy is just gonna kill Croc and leave.
Yeah, very possible. Croc is, of course, its own area. And unfortunately, unlike Area Randomizer, you can't just bail on Croc. You do have to actually do the fight before you're able to leave the area. He's going to check this back item. We'll see if he picks up this reserve tank. Is going to opt to.
I think picking up reserve tanks are actually beneficial here because from most of the seeds I've seen so far, tanks come few and far between early game, so it's a pretty wise idea to pick up tanks, even if they are reserve tanks.
Yeah, that is one of the consequences of full countdown, like I mentioned. Since E-tanks aren't included in the major items, unlike something like Major Minor Split or Chozo Split, you kind of have to just check minor items just so that you can actually get the energy required to beat the seed. You end up with only a few tanks in most situations, so it makes bosses like Ridley and Mother Brain a little bit scarier, especially if you don't have a good beam combo. And right now, the runners only have charge. I believe Dasr has also picked up his charge.
Yes, Dasser's picked up charged, Varia, and
yeah, unfortunately, he did not check the Norfair Reserve yet, I believe. I can't really tell what suit he has because of the
yeah, Dasser has not checked the reserve. Here. But I know that Sephy has picked up Gravity. And Dasser's leaving Norfair right now might not, based on what we know of the seed, it's not the correct choice right now.
I believe he's just checking this item here, these cathedral missiles. See if he can find his power bombs. Because he needs those to check Kraid's Lair, for example. It's going to find another super pack, which is nice. And we actually have some sync going on.
Ooh.
That's cool.
I wasn't even paying attention to Sephy stream, and then we see the supers at the same time.
Nice little high five in the lava.
And Sephy and Dasser are leaving. Sephy having checked Croc and everywhere below already. So Dasser's
check Croc escape, I believe.
No.
It doesn't really matter too much since we know it's not going to be a major item. We'll see if Sephy even bothers checking high jump and ice, and looks like he doesn't. He's got every ammo type. Like I said, he will need to get those 3 E-tanks at least, although technically you can do Mother Brain with 2 E-tanks in a reserve. But we'll see when he decides to pick those up. Dasser, meanwhile, likely is going to be checking these items since he still has one major location or one major item that he has not found. Unfortunately, we know where it is, and he is in the wrong place.
Mm-hmm. And Sephy going down, remembering this is a boss rando as well, and going back to the save room up in Kraid's lair. And Kraid also doesn't look like there's anything there, so not checking the power bomb item here.
Yeah, one thing I didn't mention is that this is boss rando, which is why you saw Sephy take that save. Just because there's a chance that this is an unbeatable boss. With this loadout, he can actually do every boss except Ridley, although Dragon would be a pretty annoying fight that I wouldn't be entirely surprised to see Sephy reset. I'm kind of surprised he didn't check more ammo. Unfortunately,
and it's
there is
Ridley.
that Ridley.
Yeah, and could Sephy get? Oh yeah, with gravity suit, Sephy can get out with the gravity jump.
Yeah, it wouldn't be too bad. He wouldn't be rewarded with a major item, I don't believe.
It might be possible behind Dragon, but I don't know if it would be a movement item to get out.
I guess Ridley is technically possible with charge. You'd be doing a low ice fight, but even worse because you only have one E-tank instead of two. And unsurprisingly, Sephy not going to bother with that.
It's just power bombs at Croc Escape. And there's one item here in Red Brinstar, and hopefully it isn't at X-Ray.
Yeah, I don't know how comfortable Sephy is with the X-ray deboosts. It wouldn't be surprising to me if he is able to do it. Miserable compared to the other options.